Hello and welcome to the James Raiz Show. Hi, my name is James Raiz, and this is something different. Okay, I've been streaming on YouTube for a long time, and this is the first time I'm actually going to simulcast with my podcast, the Box Office Artist podcast, and you could download that right now on iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff. Just look up the Box Office Artist podcast. So I wanted to try something different. It's February 1st. And I wanted to see if I could turn these live streams into something a little bit more special, where I won't just draw, but I'll also be answering your questions because I am a artist with 20 years experience. I've worked in many different fields. I've worked in comic books. I've worked for Marvel, DC. I've worked in movies. I've worked on things like Stargate. I've worked on Watchmen. I've worked on Percy Jackson. I've worked on the Underworld series. So I worked on a lot of things. And, time has come in my life where I feel like I can help. I can help you guys. So I thought instead of just drawing, like we're going to be doing here today. And today I am drawing I'm drawing a Moana. I'm going to be drawing Moana in a Marvel style right now. So if you actually want to see me draw this, you're going to have to watch on Twitch and YouTube, which I'm streaming on right now. But in the meantime, thank you for listening to this podcast, and thank you to everybody who's watching live. I'm actually filming this very early in the morning. Everyone knows I'm an early guy. And I do want to say a quick shout out to everybody who's watching live. Just a few people. It's very early in the morning, but hello to Aaron and Marian and Poopability and Levi, Chrysler. How you guys doing? Vincent, Nick, Fortnite. How you doing? JCA, Sadia, Kieran. Good to see everyone who's watching live. So thank you for watching live. Now, if you are not watching live, hopefully you could enjoy this whenever you watch it, because I'm going to be answering questions while I go ahead and draw this Moana in a Marvel style here. Okay, so today we are going to focus on the business of art YouTube. So a couple things off the top. All right, a couple things off the top. Number one. I will not be commenting, okay? Because I know I'm going to get questions. I am not going to be commenting on anyone else's YouTube channel unless it is an inspiration or I think you could learn something from it, okay? You guys know, if you didn't know, roughly about 6 months ago, I lost my wife to cancer. And I have absolutely no interest in going into any YouTube drama or anything of the like. I would rather not concentrate on any of that. My only concentration will be on you guys and helping you guys. And that's what I want to do, and that's what I would rather do. Okay? So I will not be commenting on any of that stuff. I will comment on the YouTubers that I like, that I think we could learn things from. But that will be the extent of it, okay? So if anyone asks something other than that, I will not be answering those questions. Also, I will be answering questions because I put a post up on the YouTube channel, on both on the main channel, the Box Office Artist YouTube channel, and on the live channel. I asked you guys for questions. So today I will be answering a lot of those questions, okay? I will be answering a lot of those questions, and hopefully you could hear me, and we will get going on that. And one more thing off the top, guys, before I get started. I have a very special fan, and his name is JJ. We've been talking about him a lot over the past couple months. His name was the 7th Ranger. Unfortunately, JJ has passed away. He passed away a few days ago, and my heart goes out to his family, and my heart goes out to his brothers and his parents, and life's short, guys. Life's too short to be in fights. Life's too short to hold grudges. We don't know how much time we have here. All we could do is to live the best life we can at the end of the day. And for me personally, when someone tells you that even though that they're sick, even though, you know, they're facing a lot of problems, and when he comes to me and tells me that I'm a way that he gets through the pain, watching my live streams helps him get through the pain. Even for any of you guys, and if you watch me to help with your problems in terms of maybe just a distraction from life, that means more to me than you'll ever know. And the fact that JJ chose to spend some of his last moments watching me, that means more to me than you'll ever know. So my message to JJ's family, thank you for letting me be a part of his life, and we'll always remember JJ. We'll always remember him. So just wanted to get that off the top, all right? And maybe we'll do more for JJ's family a little later on, but they're grieving right now, so my heart goes to JJ and his family, to JJ's family, all right? But on that note, let's talk about YouTube. As I go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and sketch out what I'm going to draw here. Let me record here. So this being my very first quasi-podcast, I'm going to try to podcast. I'm going to try to draw. I'm going to try to do a whole lot of things here that I usually don't do whenever I live stream. But I will also be answering your questions. Now, I have pre-chosen questions right now. I have chosen questions. I am going to answer those first, and then I will be going to those who are watching me live. Okay? So those of you who are watching me live, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just going to be answering the questions. I'm just going to be answering the questions that I pre-chose first. Okay, now let me just darken this up again. And I apologize, I'm not drawing in a regular pencil because I'll be honest, I lost it. I can't find it. So hopefully you can still see the blue line sketch. So I'm sketching with a Color Pilot EnoLED here, and hopefully you could see it while I go ahead and draw it. Okay, but let's go ahead and go to the first question here. We're going to go to the very first question here. And this very first question, and again, all these questions are related around YouTube business, okay? Art YouTube business. And that's what we are going to concentrate on it, okay? So let's do that. So let's start with Shadow Threat, who asked this question. Hi, James. My questions. How, where, and when did you learn how to draw like this? And who had a big impact on you outside of your teachers? Thank you in advance for the answer and reply. Relax a lot. I will relax a lot, my friend. So thank you so much to Shadow Threat for bringing in that question. Okay, so how did I learn to draw like this? I did go to school to draw like this, but a lot of it is chalked up to experience. We talked about that in the experience. But I did want the meat of this question. Who had a big impact on you, aside from your teachers? So I will talk about my biggest YouTube influences. I think... a lot of you know my biggest influence was Jazza. And Jazza, very, very good friend of mine. Very, very good friend of mine. Love the guy to death. He's the type of guy who gives more, who wants to give more than he receives. He didn't have to help me. At the end of the day, Jazza didn't have to help me. But let me tell you the quick story on how I got to meet Jazza. When I was first starting Art YouTube, and I mentioned this before. In this podcast, but when I first started Art YouTube, I was looking at artists that I liked. Mark Crilly was a big inspiration for me. He was the biggest guy. I call him the Godfather of Art YouTube. Godfather of Art YouTube, and he loves that. He loves that I call him that. But as I pull up my reference here, one second, my friends. I'm just going to pull up my reference here. So I was looking around for other artists, and I was a big fan of Evan Burse. Evan Burse. I got to meet him later on. Wonderful guy. So I was watching a lot of his stuff, and then I saw an interview that it was like a 4-person interview. It was with Will Terrell, Evan, somebody else. I forgot who she was. I forgot her name. It really escapes me. And Jazza, some dude named Jazza. And I was watching the three of them talk about Art YouTube. And this was way back, guys. This was like in 2012, I think, 2012. And there was just something about Jazzy. He just seemed like a really, really cool guy. And not only that, a really, really phenomenal artist. So there came a time when I decided I wanted to become a YouTuber. One of the main guys I wanted to be like was this dude named Jazza. I wanted to be like Jazza. So I noticed that Jazza would have these monthly sponsored contests. I believe it was sponsored by Wacom at the time. By the way, that's how you pronounce it, guys. It's not Wacom, it's Wacom. When I was sponsored by them, that's how they said it. It's like Sock'em. It's Wacom. They are not a sponsor of this podcast, but maybe they will be one day. You never know. But he had this contest. It was called Netflix Down Under, if I'm not mistaken. Next, he had this Netflix Down Under contest where Netflix wanted us to make these Netflix pieces of art, and Jazza held this contest where you could win a Wacom tablet. Okay, now I never had a tablet before, so that was one of the reasons why I wanted to enter this contest. And I was just trying to be honest, I was trying to get the eye of Jazz. And now, again, guys, at this point, 2012, I've been working professionally as an artist for at least, by that time, 12 years. So I was I worked for Marvel already, DC. I shouldn't really be entering these these fan contests, But I did for two reasons. One, I wanted to win a Wacom tablet. And number two, I wanted to be Jazza. I really did. And that was the first time I met Jazza, because I sent the entry in. He liked it. He featured my entry. And then we talked for a little bit, and he was just a cool guy. Now, there came a point when Jazza was going on vacation. He was going on vacation, and he needed he was looking for some people to come and do some fill-in videos for him, so that he would still have some income coming in while he was on vacation. So he asked a few people. I saw that he got a YouTube channel called Onion Skin. He got a YouTuber that I think some of you know. Robert Marzullo. That's how you say his name, right? Robert Marzullo. A lot of you guys know him. He does a lot of great things on YouTube, even today. And he asked me. He asked me if I wanted to do a fill-in video for him. And I agreed. So that's how I got to meet Jazza. And Jazza has really been a real mentor to me. Right up to when I decided to quit my job to pursue YouTube full-time. Jazza was the guy who came in, and right when I told him I was going to quit my job, he gave me all these resources. He told me, hey, the best ways to earn a living, to get the money coming in, which hopefully I could share with you guys today. And it was such a help. Right when I quit my job, he called me right away. And then I started doing these, for example, I started doing these little vlogs on my channel. I started doing these little daily vlogs on my channel. Complete 180 from what I was doing on YouTube. And the dude literally, he messaged me. He goes, James, can I talk to you for a second? Can we Skype and talk? Like Jazz lives in Australia. I live in Canada, right? And I'm like, sure, man. And then we Skype, and then first thing goes, what are you doing, man? James, what are you doing, man? People don't come to your channel for this. Look at your views; they're suffering. If you're gonna do this vlog thing, get another channel. And he was absolutely right. Like, he was there every step of the way to to help me whenever I needed a collab, when I was trying to get those views up. He was always willing to collab with me when he really didn't. He had no reason to. He had absolutely no reason to help me, but he did. He did. And I was very, very appreciative of that he was willing to help me in that manner. So I will always be forever grateful to Jazza for helping me kind of get my start in the field in that sense. But when it comes to answering the question, who had the biggest impact, Jazza, absolutely. When it comes to art, YouTube, it also taught me, sometimes it's okay to give, without expecting anything in return. And that's something Jazza absolutely did. He gave without really expecting anything in return. And that's very rare to find these days, to be honest with you. But again, I've talked about my influences, my comic book influences. So if you want to learn about that, I have a whole video up on my YouTube channel, on my podcast channel. I have a whole video up about that on my podcast channel, so you could go ahead and check that out. So hopefully that answered your question there, Shadow Threat. So thank you for that question. Okay, so the next question comes from, and once again, I will go to the chat questions once I'm done all these other questions here. Let's see here. Oh, wait a minute. My apologies. Why is it not? Oh, what's going on? Oh, did it go twice? Oh, I put that question twice. Okay. Next question. From Exclusive. What advice would you give to the young artist? That's a great question as well. So this question is not just for young artists. This answer is also for young professionals. No matter what type of art you want to get into, whether it be YouTube, whether it be comic books, whether it be visual effects, whether it be, I don't know, whatever kind of art you want to get into. Number one advice to you guys. Patience. The biggest part of your question there is young, which means you have time. We're in a very give it to me now society. We're in a very, I need to get it now. I want to be, if I'm not employed by Marvel by the time I'm 25, it's over. That's the kind of world we live in right now. Well, nothing could be further from the case, right? Stan Lee didn't start writing Marvel comics until he was 40. Okay? One of my favorite comics of all time, Rodney Dangerfield, okay? Rodney. Now, you got to be careful when you look some of the old comics because, back then the jokes were different. We were in a different world back then. But Rodney Dangerfield, one of my favorite comics, he didn't even start comedy until he was 40, okay? Does that mean that you need to start when you're 40? No, absolutely not, right? But it does mean that you have time. Work hard. Work extremely hard, okay, while you're young. And work on what you need to learn. That's what I would say to you, okay? Now, you might say, maybe YouTube's a little different animal, okay? I will say that you will probably be easier to attract an audience. Being younger helps. I won't lie. Being a younger, good-looking person, like me. No, I'm just joking. But a younger, a good-looking younger person, you'll probably get more eyeballs, or people might be willing to give you more of a chance at first. But then you got to keep them there at the same time. Okay, so that you're young. Don't be in a rush. That's what I would say to you. There's lots of time to learn, and there are a lot more resources to learn now than there ever was. So take advantage of that. Okay, that's what I would say to you for that particular question. Okay, next question here. Next question comes from Javier. Is it Javier? Javier is French. Javier. How do I entertain a modern audience and make sure that my comics and graphic novels meet today's quality and standards, both for stories and art? A modern audience is hard to entertain, and I don't want my projects and stuff to get review bombed and have a bad career. Okay, my number one advice to you there, Javier, is to stop caring. Don't worry about getting review bombed. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. You know, of course, we want our projects to be as marketable as possible. Hey, look, I'm drawing Moana in a Marvel style here. Drawing Moana in a Marvel style here. But at the same time, if you keep worrying that someone's not going to like your content, then you might as well stop now. Because there will always be someone who doesn't like what you do. There will always be that person. There might be a lot of people who don't like what you do. But you shouldn't concentrate on that. Concentrate on the people who do like what you do. And then secondly, if people don't like what you do, find out why. Why don't they? Are they doing it just to be mean? Or, as I change my battery here, I apologize again. Or, do they have a legitimate criticism for you? Is what they're saying true? Sometimes, and I think that was one thing that I was able to, on social media, I'm able to tune a lot of the negativity out. I think working professionally for as long as I did before I got into social media, all the negativity that I got before, that I got, it doesn't bother me, because if you think that's bad, wait till you work for an actual editor. I had a pretty, and I wouldn't even say in comics. In comics, a little different, because in comics, the editors, they're on a deadline too. They're in a rush, okay? So they, unless you did really bad, where we can't publish this, for the most part, they'll just accept what you have. Now, that might affect them giving you more work later on down the line. But it's got to be really bad for them not to hire you. But with that said, when I was in visual effects, there were times that my work was boom. Oh man, I got criticism so bad. I think the people today, a lot of the people today, they would be like, "Oh man, that sounds like abuse." Today it was like to. Okay, but you know what it did? It strengthened me, and it gave me thick skin. And at the end of the day, I also knew it was coming from a place where they were trying to make my artwork better, because they want my artwork to be better, because it makes them look better. Okay, so I wouldn't worry about being review bombed. Okay, you can't worry about that, because there's no way to foolproof whatever you're working on. All you could do is try to make the best piece of content you can, whether that be a comic, whether that be a graphic novel, whether that be a YouTube video. All you can do is make the best video you can. And then you have to wait for that feedback. So sometimes you do need that feedback, so you know what works and you know what doesn't work. So my advice to you there, Javier, is don't be scared. Don't be scared of being review bombed. Get your work out there and see how people respond. And that's how you're going to get better at what you do. All right. So, and then everything else in terms of making sure that meets today's quality and standards. Again, you won't know unless you actually put your work out there and see how people respond. Okay. But at the same time, it's all practice. Practice as hard as you can. Practice as much as you can. Get your project out, see how people receive it, and then work on the next project. That would be my advice to you. Okay. Next question here. Let's go. We have a few more questions, and then I'll get to the chat questions here. All right. Let's see here. Next question here. Also from Javier. Do you have any advice practicing the business aspect of the field? This includes marketing, communication, and collaboration, as well as branding and finances. Also references and resources, too. First of all, I believe, again, talking about my buddy Jazza, I believe he has a Skillshare course on YouTube. And I think that is a great resource. There are a lot of great resources on YouTube in terms of trying to better your channel. A couple guys that I watch One is Nick Nimmin. I think that's his name, Nick Nimmin. I watch him a lot. He has some great advice. And Mr. Beast consultant and business partner Daryl Eves. Daryl is actually a friend of mine, and he's fantastic. He's like the guru of YouTube. So if there are two guys that I would say that you could watch to help you in terms of helping your YouTube channel, those would be two guys who definitely know what they're talking about. In terms of the business side of in art in general. And that's what the title is of this video. And the actual business side of it, or in general. It's a tough business. I won't lie to you guys. It's tough. Even being a freelance artist. So tough. It's really, really tough. Because the life of an actual artist itself, if you're going to narrow it down to the life of an actual artist, number one, you're always looking for a job. Number two, when you find a job, you're still looking for a job. Freelance artist is just that, freelance. You're always looking for work. You're always looking for work. And then it's not really consistent. I remember my school teacher. He was a graphic designer at the time. I don't know if he's still doing graphic design now. But at the time, he said that you need to be working consistently for a good 10 years in the field before you aren't looking for the clients are looking for you. And to be honest, these days, sometimes it's longer. Because after 10 years, there's the younger guy coming along or the more talented guy coming along that just came out of art college. The superstar artist just coming out of art college who's now cheaper than you, right? So you're always looking for work. So it is a balance. It's tough. Being a freelance artist is so tough. Because again, not only are you competing with these new guys, you're competing with experienced guys that are looking for work as well, just like you. They're looking for work as well. So that's the tough part about all of this. But why do we do it? It's because it's fun. It's because it's drawing for a living. Can you imagine that, drawing for a living? That's fun. It's so fun. How long? Just taking a little quick look at the time. And by the way, I'm spending a little bit more longer on this layout than I usually would, and that's because I'm trying to teach. There you go. So, with that in mind, when I was working freelance, I'll be honest, I would only really get work, and this is from an established artist. Sometimes I would only get out of the year, maybe 3 to 6 months of actual work, and the rest of the time is looking for work. So either you have to go out and get like a supporting job, or you would have to really budget yourself properly and know that I might not have work this kind, so you're really gonna have to save money in that sense. And then my tips for saving money, guys. This is not a banking podcast or a banking show, but I will say my tips for one of my biggest tips for saving is just take a piece out of every paycheck. Automatically take 20% out and just put it away, like you don't even see it. So you won't even touch it. You won't even touch it. And that's hard to do, especially if you need money later on. But as soon as you live on your, if you could do 20% or even more of every paycheck that you get and you don't have to touch it, that helps a lot. It definitely helps a lot. And I'm not liking the look on Moana's face here. She doesn't look good. I have to draw better, guys. I got to draw better. So that would be my personal advice on saving, but it's hard because it's true. You're going to be living off credit cards if you don't have another job. It's just tough. It's not an easy racket. Now, when it comes to YouTube itself, guys, if I'm going to be 100% honest with you, and not a lot of people will tell you this, YouTube, don't plan to live off YouTube AdSense. YouTube, like any platform, any social media platform, use YouTube to build your audience, to build your customers, okay? Don't rely on it for revenue. Because if you do, like, it's up and down, guys. It's up and down. Views go up and down. And even those people with high views, that doesn't mean they're going to have high views forever. So you can't really rely on that. You have to build a business at the end of the day. Because if I'm going to be completely 100 with you guys, completely 100, the only way to live off YouTube AdSense is if you have millions of views a month. That's the only way. If you're going to live off just the YouTube AdSense, that's straight talk there, guys. You need millions of views a month. It took me a long time to get to that position where the YouTube AdSense was, just the YouTube AdSense alone was enough for me to support myself and my family off of. It took a long time. And I know it's not forever. That's another problem, right? It's not forever. So you absolutely need, other ways to make a business. Okay. So find out things to sell. And again, my buddy Jazza has a great course on this, on Skillshare. You didn't pay me to say this. It's just, that might be a good resource, for you guys in that sense. Okay. Just a couple more questions here, guys, and then we will go to the chats. I'll admit I haven't been looking at the chat, so I apologize if there's been any, any trolls on there. Hopefully my friend Mario is still there, holding the fort. I'm not sure. Here we go. From Riffan. I'm an aspiring animator who showcases his art on YouTube as well. I am aimed to be successful as you, for you have become one of my inspirations to succeed. Well, thank you very much there, Riffan. What would be your advice for me in order to be an excellent artist like you? First of all, you're lying. Secondly, thank you, Rafan. And a lot of you guys have said that to me. And to be honest, it really does mean a lot to me that you really, you feel that way. I'm very humbled that you feel that way. So thank you very much. It's about practice, my friend, practice. All about practice. Alan Iverson, it's all practice. Yeah, practice, man. I mentioned this. We did a Q&A, me and Mark. Did a Q&A, and hopefully that will be out on this channel sooner than later, but I got Mark to start working on something very special for the channel that's out this week. By the way, guys, I will tell you that starting tomorrow, I am going on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday output for my channel. So expect videos from me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, every week, okay? So just to give you guys a heads up, and one of the videos we're working on is this very, very special video, and that's coming out on Friday, and it's one of the most different videos that I've ever done. So we're putting this under experimental, and you'll see, I've never done a video like this on my channel. If there's anything that comes close, maybe when I first started, but this is so different. So I'll be very, very interested to see how you guys react to this new format. I won't say it's a new format because we're trying this with a few videos. I will be doing my regular videos for sure. Okay, so check that out on Friday, guys. But I will have a new video up tomorrow as well. Okay, but with your question here, what would be your advice? My advice would be to work on your craft more than anyone else. More than anyone else. And now, what I was getting at is me and Mark, we had a podcast earlier where someone asked a very similar question. And hopefully you guys will listen to that podcast episode sooner than later. Okay? But that's the reason it's delayed, because I got Mark to work on this brand new video, which you are going to be seeing on Friday. But somebody asked there about school, and we will talk about school in another podcast, guys. But I will say this. As hard as you're working on your craft right now, there's somebody working harder than you. There really is. There's somebody working harder than you. I mentioned in that podcast where we talk about, is school necessary? And it's not really. And in fact, everyone who I ask that, they'll say it's not really, because all the information is available to you. However, the person working in school, they're being disciplined in a manner they're working so many hours a day. If you're not going to school, you have to match that output on your own because that's who you're competing with. I mentioned in that podcast, and hopefully you'll hear it sooner than later, that one of my influences and one of my favorite artists is a guy named Feng Zhu. And he has this website called FZD School. He has a school. And he makes his students draw 6 hours a day after classes. 6 hours a day after classes. Okay? You might say, James, do I have to draw a 6 hour a day? Well, no. However, if you don't, just say you only draw 1 hour a day. And you want to be a concept artist, like those guys at Feng Zhu's school. You only draw 1 hour a day. In a week, that means you've drawn 7 hours. While people at Feng Zhu's school, 6 times 7, they drew 42 hours compared to your 7 hours. Now, there are people who are naturally talented where they don't need to practice as much. There are people like that, for sure. Absolutely. I'm not denying that. But there is something about that sweat equity. So if you're not going to school, understand that those are people you're competing with. You're competing with guys that are doing 42 hours of drawing a week after classes. After class. That's your competition. So you got to match them somehow, right? And the only way you're going to match them is if you put in the work and put in the hours. And then work smart. And when I say work here, how do you work smart as an artist? Well, work on what you're bad at, right? Where it becomes second nature to you. You're not very good at anatomy? Well, learn how to do anatomy. You're not very good at storytelling? Work on storytelling. You're not very good at drawing women? Learn how to draw women. Practice drawing women. That's the only way you're going to get better. Okay? Until you come to the point where you're known for doing a certain thing, right? So let me give you an example here. Just say some people like the way I draw here, and I've spent a lot of time in this layout, and again, that's just because I'm talking. And maybe we'll come to the point once this podcast is done. We'll spend the rest of the time finishing the artwork, okay? But just say once people like this, okay, and people are willing to pay to watch me do this, and people are watching my videos just because I do this, you know what? Now I could hire somebody to draw my background for me. Now I could hire somebody to do the coloring. I don't need to do those myself. But until I get to that point where I don't need to do those things, I got to learn how to do them. I started off as a background artist, guys. I learned to color when I started YouTube, really. I wasn't really much of a colorist before, but I had to learn how to color because, colorists aren't free, man. Colorists aren't free. I had to learn how to color my own. I'm still trying to learn how to color with these Copics. It's not working. But you got to put in the hours. You got to put in the work. And you got to work at what you're bad at until you're able to get someone to do those things for you. Okay? So that's what I would say. Keep working at it, Riffin. Keep working at it. And the last question, before we get to the chat questions. Here we go. Last question of the day. It's from JM Comic Art, which is a great question here. Great question. He says, more of a YouTube question, but how do you predict the art community would change in the next few years? When you say art community, I will say the YouTube art community. Well, you got, at these, here's the thing, right? When you say art community, you're assuming that everyone is part of the same audience, okay? When I'm finding personally, okay? Yes, there's definitely an art community. There definitely is. There are definitely regular people that come and then they watch, probably the same type of YouTubers. And that's great. That's fantastic. I love it. I consider you guys a part of the art community. We definitely are an art community. I wouldn't call them artists in general, though. Art community in general, though. Because there are people who watch art videos for different reasons. Some watch because they want to be artists. Some watch because they just want to be entertained by art. I even think, did Jazza coin that term? Artainment? Art as entertainment, right? So people, I consider what I do art entertainment, where I'm hoping that not just people that are artists want to watch me, but just the regular folk as well, right? That's art entertainment, right? People will always go to YouTube for two things. Two things. Number one, they want to be entertained. Number two, they want to learn something. So, in general, the art community will always be there on YouTube. It always will be, because it's free. The only time it's going to leave when it's not free. If there ever comes a time that the art community leaves YouTube, it's when it's not free anymore. Then you got the rich art community that are coming in. But the thing about art is we're after the same thing. We love to draw. We love to take reality and interpret it on paper in the way we know how. Right? People ask me, well, what kind of art community are you talking about too? Are you talking about the music art community? Are you talking about, I assume you mean the drawing art community. That's what I assume you're talking about. You know? As long as people need to learn something, as long as people like being entertained by art, YouTube will always be here to entertain them. It always will. That's why I believe YouTube's one of these platforms I don't think is ever going away. It will upgrade. It will change. But I think there will always be a version of this YouTube out. Okay, unless somebody just offers something so spectacular that people have to leave this. But then, these days, they'll just steal it. They'll steal it and call it a trend. That's what they'll do. So there you go. Okay, guys. So that is the question and answer portion of the podcast here. If you guys have any questions, if you are watching this live later on, let me know the questions down below. Okay, let me know the questions down below, and then maybe I will read them out later on. But I will turn off those questions. I will go to the chat, and my apologies to those who are watching the chat. I haven't been chatty at all. So let me. I have to close it because I have to put my reference. So let me see. Here we go. Here's the chat. Is there a bug on the drawing? Someone said there's a bug on the drawing. There you go. Down at the bottom. Oh, that's not a bug. That was probably spit there. There you go. So just to see if there's any other comments here going. Mario says hi. But yeah, guys, that is it. Keep going. Keep going. So and thank you guys who are still watching here, drawing here. So please do share this podcast as well. It would be fantastic if you could share this as well. So if anyone has any more questions, I will answer that here. So Poopability, first of all, fantastic name. He's been a great watcher of mine for a long time. Poopability, he goes, when will I draw Boba Fett? I did draw a Boba Fett. For those of you who haven't seen that before, who haven't seen that yet, go watch that video where I drew Star Wars characters as, well, at first I just called it, hooked up Star Wars characters, and then I tried to turn it mashup, try to get the views. I am sad that video doesn't have that many views. I am extremely sad that video doesn't have that many views, but I guess people aren't, well, Star Wars isn't, and then let me just say this quickly, Star Wars, unfortunately, it's just not hot right now. And Book of Boba Fett is not doing it for people. The Mandalorian came back. Spoilers. This is a spoiler podcast. The Mandalorian just came back in the last episode, so hopefully that will perk interest up a little bit. But we will see. We'll see. Elijah, Kieran Emmanuel says, do I like Alex Ross's art? For those of you who don't know, Alex Ross, he is a comic book artist, a legendary comic book artist. And I actually will talk about him on my video a little bit on Friday. But Alex Ross was the first guy that really made you feel comics could be real. This was before any of the awesome Marvel movies came out, like in the 90s. There was not an art style like Alex Ross that was kind of like a mainstream comic book art until he came around. Because back then, even back then, like Photoshop wasn't really, like a digitally colored art wasn't a thing back then. This is like the 90s, guys, early 90s. Like Image was starting to do some fun things with computer coloring, but nobody was doing like realistic art until Mr. Alex Ross came along. Yeah, definitely one of my heroes. And I mentioned this before. I talk about this a lot in a video we put out on the podcast channel earlier. So if you haven't seen that already, go check that out. But I go in depth. And again, just seeing his work, the way he painted, and seeing it in person, it was a treat. Being very fortunate to see some of his work in person. The screen does nothing. The scan does absolutely nothing to show you what that artwork really looks like. It's night and day, guys. Night and day. And I think that's for a lot of artwork, to be honest. Like a lot of people, when they see my artwork, like especially my bigger pieces of art, they had no idea the scale of everything. Like the people who saw my Star Wars piece in person, they had no idea the exact size that I did, because we watch it on a phone. Some of us are watching this stuff on the phone. Some of us watching this stuff. Some of those watching maybe a TV, maybe, but even that's like a portion of the scale. So definitely one of my favorite artists, Mr. Alex Ross. There, very influential artist. Let's see here. Let's see if there's any more here. And if not, I'm probably going to end the podcast, but I will continue drawing and just talk with the chat here, because it is 6 o'clock. I do have a hard out at 7 o'clock. But I will leave you with this when it comes to Art YouTube, and then I'm going to end the podcast, and we will continue going for the live here. The business side isn't easy. At the end of the day, business side of Art YouTube isn't easy. You have to figure out how to make money. You have to figure out how to live. But until you could get there, you got to figure out how you're going to get the time to actually work on your craft so you can get to that point. It's not easy. But what in life is, really? What in life is? And I'm telling you, this is the best job I've ever had. I work for Marvel. I work for DC. I work for Marvel movies. I worked in movies. And now I haven't been in a movie, but but I hear that's boring too. But, I worked on marketing art. You guys know that. I worked on marketing art. None of those jobs, for me personally. Now, I have friends who work in comics, absolutely love it, wouldn't want to do anything else. I have friends who do movie posters, absolutely love it, wouldn't want to do anything else. Fantastic. So happy for them. Me, nothing makes me happier than doing YouTube right now. Work-wise, of course. But this is the best job I've ever had. And I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed that I was very blessed that I was able to turn this into a career. And you can too. If we're going to turn this motivational, so can you. But you got to be willing to work for it. And you got to be patient. I am going to be celebrating my 10th year on YouTube next year. May 2023, I will be officially 10 years in YouTube. 10 years to get where I am. A lot of people, 6 months in, they quit already. But I've also seen people that have been going for over a year and not getting any traction at all. Number one, if that's you, right? If you've been working for a year, like consistently, and I'm not just saying like in a year you only put out like 2 videos, all right? If you've been working consistently for a year, just say you put out a video out every week for a year. And a year goes by and you're still only getting maybe 10 to 100 views per video. Okay? Number one, don't quit. There's still a chance. Number two, at the same time, at that point, if it's been a year and that's all you're getting, you need to take a step back and pivot and be willing to change and be willing to try other things. Okay, so you've been on YouTube that long, no traction. Well, did you change your content? Did you try other things? I I didn't start getting traction until 2018. I've been on YouTube since 2013. And I didn't really get any major traction until I tried something completely different at the time. And then after that, I had other videos that went viral after that. Completely different than what I was doing back in 2013. So are you changing your content? Are you growing? Are you evolving? And that's what you got to do. That's definitely what you got to do if you want to stay, quote unquote, relevant in this space. I'm trying to give him a rock face, by the way. For those of you that watch it, I'm trying to give him a rock face. I don't know if it's working. But it is what it is. I'll make it work. That's what I do. I'm an artist. So keep at it. That's what I will say to you guys. Keep at it. Okay? But if a year goes by, 6 months go by, you're just not getting any traction, nobody's watching, then find out why. Ask those people that are watching you, why are they watching you? And try to double down on that. Or try to figure out what does work on YouTube if you want to keep doing this. Okay? This isn't for everybody. And even those people that succeed, okay, I'll tell you guys like Jazza, who's been on this platform for more than 10 years. He's been on since what, 2011, 2012, something like that? There's only a few guys like that, right? That could stay, quote unquote, relevant in the art YouTube space, in any YouTube space. Like, think about it. Think about the YouTubers that you used to watch even like 3 years ago. How many of them are still doing YouTube? I'll bet you not many. Not many. Even those that were successful. Not many. Some of them, they just moved on to other things. Some of them, they're still trying, but they're not succeeding. Or people aren't responding to their content as much as they used to. There's tons of people like that. So it's just a space. So being successful at it for a long period of time, that's hard. Especially that long. So it's tough. It's a tough job, my friends. It's a tough job, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and end the podcast right here. But again, I'm going to keep going on the live streams here. For those on the live, don't go anywhere. I'll be here for a while, and I'm going to be here answering your questions. But for those of you listening on the podcast, thank you guys for watching or for listening to the podcast. This might be a daily thing, guys. This is going to be a daily thing, and that will all depend on your questions. So if you have a question for me that you want me to answer during the podcast, let me know in the comments down below. But thank you guys for listening. You guys are the best. And remember, my name is James. I'm the box office artist, and I'm your best friend. All right. But those of you live stream, I'll be your best friend a little bit longer. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on the live stream. I'm just going to turn off the audio here. Okay. All right, live stream. Just you and me. All right. That rock is going to haunt you, Gamers. That's right. Good morning, Maersk. Good morning, buddy. So again, guys, for those watching live, just trying something new. Because, guys, I was trying to do evenings. You guys know that. I was trying to do the evenings. Super tough. Oh, man. Was I struggling? I was struggling, man. I'm just a morning guy. Oh, the Moana's looking like Michael Turner. You know what? Well, I will take that. Cara Bear says the Moana is looking like Michael Turner to you. Well, that is one of the biggest compliments. Thank you very much there, Cara Bear. But I'm just a morning guy. Like, I know, and I know for my business, I know for streaming, it's way better if I stream at the 10 o'clock at night. Now, of course, if, I'd love to stream at like 8 p.m. or something like that. But, I'll be honest, like, I'm a dad. I need to be there for my kids. So that's just not possible. I'm not going to sacrifice my time with my kids for streaming at that time. But, I tried to do 10 o'clock. At least, I could put the kids to bed, or they're almost ready for bed at that time, and then I could stream. And it's just tired, man. You know why it's tiring? It's because I go through a full day of work. As you guys know, I have workers that come every day to the office here. And I do a full day of work with them. And then I'll take a break and I'll hang out with the kids in the afternoon. And then it's like I'm not looking forward to it. You know? I am not looking forward to it. So, and that's when that's when I'm not streaming anymore for fun. That's when I'm streaming because I kind of have to. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So that's when I decided, you know what, forget it. It is what it is. I'm a morning guy. I wake up early. You know what time I woke up today, guys? You know what time I woke up today? I woke up at 1 a.m. I woke up at 1 a.m. today. 1 o'clock in the morning. I actually finished some drawings before starting this one for a couple of videos that we have coming up. So I finished that. And then now, what time is it now? 6:08. So we'll go for about another hour here, guys. We'll go for another hour. And yeah, that's what we'll do. So it's like I'll accept it for now. I am a morning man. That's what, because also you know what I like the fact that when my workers come in, whatever I get done during the day, it's gravy. It's gravy. It's hold on, my mic wants to go away. He's like, I don't want to talk to you anymore, James. Hold on. I go like this. Can I do this? It's gravy. It's like okay, go back. I need a shotgun mic. Whatever else I get done during the day, it's great. But I feel like I accomplish so much when I stream with you guys in the morning that it just works out better for me. It just does. So, Mario, my buddy Mario. By the way, Mario, I saw your question too. I will be answering that probably in the next, probably tomorrow. Okay, but did you watch the Book of Boba Fett season 1, episode 5? And what did you think of the episode? Can I go into spoilers, guys? Okay, it's a TV show. It's a TV show, so it's not like you have to go to the movie theater. So, right on, exactly, Maersk. Right? It's hard, right? You don't want to negotiate. I don't want to negotiate my time with the kids at the end of the day. So, Mario, let me answer your question. I'm trying to avoid your question there, Mario. Let's see. For those of you who don't want to be spoiled on Mandalorian, it has been out for over a week now, so we're going to talk about it. Oh, see, I already spoiled it. So it doesn't matter. See, which tells you something about this episode. Because pretty much this was Mandalorian Season 3. It's what it was. That's what this episode was. The Book of Boba Fett, Episode 5, was Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 1. That's what it felt like to me, right? I love that episode. I'm sure I think universally people absolutely loved that episode of Mandalorian, right? Is it weird? And first of all, The Rock looks weird with hair. But he needs curly hair. Now, is it kind of weird that they didn't even show Boba Fett once? I think so. I was like, well, couldn't he, at the end, it was a fantastic, at the very least, couldn't we do an intro and an outro with Boba Fett? Couldn't they have done that to make it at very least, make it feel like it was the Boba Fett show? You know what I mean? Couldn't they have, what's it called? Started off, well, of course they did the recap of last week. And then maybe they do a little flashback with Mando and Boba. Like you call the series Boba Fett, right? For a reason, right? And then at the end, they didn't. Why did they have Fennec be the one to talk to Boba at the end? Why could it have been Boba himself talk to Din at the end, right? So. But, again, absolutely loved that episode. Love that episode. Which shows you I'm way more excited for Mandalorian Season 3. And I think the general population is more excited for Mando Season 3. Because I'm telling you, man, after those first 4 episodes, there was just no hype for the show, right? Absolutely no hype. Like, where was the hype? None. None. Unless you were a hardcore Star Wars fan, there's no word of mouth. Nobody cared. The Star Wars fan were trying to make excuses for the show. You know what I mean? That's what it felt like to me. It's like it's all right, but for the most part, it was just the hardcore Star Wars fans trying to make excuses to make the show better. You know, I like the show. I thought it's okay. Like it's not the best show or anything, but that episode brought it to another level. I was listening to I think Kevin Smith's podcast, and he had the showrunner or the DP. Was it the DP? I think it was the DP. The DP of that show, who also did Clerks. That's why he was able to get him on the show. Look at his hair. But he said that episode 5 and episode 7, watch out for those. So I had high expectations going in for episode 5. So yeah, fantastic episode. But fantastic episode of The Mandalorian itself. Highly, highly, highly enjoyed that episode. It was great. What did you guys think of that episode? So yep. So here, just let you guys know, we had a little lockdown here in Ontario. So Ontario, Canada, not California. We had a little lockdown here, so that's why my workers couldn't be here. But they lifted the restrictions, and now my boys they come every day out. I'm telling you, it's a different atmosphere. It really is. It really is a different atmosphere when the workers are here. I don't even call them workers. They're my buddies. They're my friends. That can be dangerous too, though, in business when you're friends with the people you work than your employees. It's a lot harder to fire. That's why they're so friendly. But it's just a different dynamic. And to be honest, it helps me get my mind off things when they're here. I don't think as much, which makes it a lot easier. Which definitely makes it a lot easier. So having them here yesterday, it was definitely definitely better in that sense. So let me tell you guys about what we have coming up. Mario says, I can bring you in warm. I can bring you in cold. That was a great callback, by the way. That was a great callback. Let me tell you what's coming up. Tomorrow. Okay, so I told you guys I have a video coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow's video will be the very first Marvel style back. Yes, Marvel style, baby. That will be tomorrow. Okay. My buddy Joe. Yeah, you guys know Joe. He's working very hard at editing that video. It should be ready and up tomorrow. Okay, so we are starting me releasing videos 3 times a week starting tomorrow. Okay, and then I will let you guys know exactly what we're doing on Friday. On Friday, this is the newest video, and it's something that I always kind of wanted to do. It's more of an informational video, okay? It's more of an informational video. And thank you, Knuckle Sandwich, who said, hey, James, loving this piece already. This coming Friday, we have a video where I'm going to explore what an R-rated Spider-Man would look like. R-rated Spider-Man directed by James Cameron. That's what we're going to talk about on Friday. So Mark is working on this piece, and it's one of the most elaborate pieces I've ever done. I actually went and I drew a movie poster for that movie. Exactly it would have been. There's actually a treatment online for James Cameron's Spider-Man. So what would that look like? How did it influence the movies coming up? So we go in depth on that, right? So first time we were ever doing something like this. So I would love your feedback on it. We worked extremely hard on this video, and it's just something new. And if you guys like it, because I'll tell you right now, Mark is an extraordinary writer. He's an amazing writer. And I always wanted him to help me on these videos to not just make it entertaining, but also informative. I want you guys not just to watch, but to learn something at the same time. And that's what I'm hoping for. So we'll see if you guys like it. Hopefully you guys will like it when the time comes. Okay, hold on. Let me just change the battery. All right. So we'll see it. We'll see how that goes here. Okay. Let me just change the battery, guys. So let's really hunker down here and try to get this drawing done. So, guys, if you have any business art questions, now's the time. Now's the time to ask it. Now, I did cover a lot in that first 45 minutes. So, by all means, please let me know your questions, huh? And Ash says that's lit. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you. Where did that term come from, by the way? Lit. Lit. What did that term come from? Did someone have a really nice piece of artwork and then it caught on fire and then someone would go, whoa, that's lit? I was like, thanks. All right. You know what's going to scare me is drawing all the tattoos on this guy. That's the scary part. So, it's lit. Which is partially why I'm drawing Maui first, because of the tattoos. It's lit. And in a way to say you're welcome. I'm off this morning. No singing. There you go. Thank you, Mohammed. Mohammed says, looking great, James. Thank you very much, my friend. Maybe they really like books. That's literature. That's not bad, Kerber. There you go. There you go. That's not bad. 1 second, guys. Let me just... Yep. Camera went off. Let me just change the battery here. Just give me a second here. And again, guys, I apologize for being a little bit slower today. I might have to finish this on my own, guys, because it's 6:20 right. I do have a hard out at 7. I do have a hard out at 7 o'clock. So we'll go for another 40 minutes, my friends. Another 40 minutes. So, guys, if you want me to answer your questions, okay, and again, it doesn't have to be our business related. It could be anything, really. And but I do like to group them. I do like to group them so that I'll be answering at least the same sort of topic like that. So if you guys have any art questions, by all means, let me know in the comments when this video goes live. Let me know in the comments below, okay? That's where you do it. That's where I'm going to get them from. For the comments of this video, okay? All right? Okay. Let's see. Let's see here. I bet you can't do this all day. That's a good one. I don't know who said that. Who said that? That was pretty funny. That's Commando Vic, my buddy Commando Vic. I bet you can't do this all day. Oh, Jared Barrett's 3:20 there. So again, that's West Coast time. So good night, my friend. What if Gamers Lee says, what if you draw the tattoo and it gets in the way of Moana? Then I poorly drew this, my friend. Then that's what we call a poor drawing, or a not thought out drawing. James didn't think that through, did he? He did not. He did not think that through, Mr. Raiz did not.
So I'm thinking, you know what I'm going to do here? See, this is how you cheat. You cheater! What a cheater. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add all the shade in first to Mr. Rock here, or Mr. Maui. Add all the shade first. This is the scary part here, adding the shade here. This is scary. I won't lie to you. Because you could lose a lot of the likeness. It's kind of the shade, but I don't really care. Because he kind of looks funny anyway. But I'm going to add all the shading first. And then, after that, then I'll add the tattoos after that. So I won't draw the You don't want to draw the tattoos first before the shading, because if you do that, there might be some that's going to be covered by shade. But now you don't want to cover it because you drew all those tattoos. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Know what I mean? There you go. Knuckle Sandwich says, okay, guys, we will talk about this shortly, all right? What are your quick thoughts on the Royal Rumble if you watched it? Now, a lot of you guys know I'm a gigantic wrestling fan. Gigantic wrestling fan. I did watch the Royal Rumble. I watched it for my family. We had, for the first time, me and my kids, we had a little Royal Rumble party. So what we did was, for both Rumbles, we picked numbers out of a hat. And whoever got the number of the so whenever a wrestler comes out. So for those of you who don't know what the Royal Rumble is, the Royal Rumble, it's a match where there's 30 participants, enter one at a time. They start with 2. Wrestlers would come in every 90 seconds, and whoever you get eliminated by being thrown over the top rope, and the winner left standing gets a shot at the title at WrestleMania. Okay, so in the scheme of things, that's what it is. So me and my kids, we drew numbers out of a hat. So when that number came out, so number 4, just say the number 4 was The Rock. Number 4 was The Rock. That was your wrestler. So if The Rock won, then you win. You win the pool. So we had a lot of fun with that. Me and the kids, I gave them some prizes. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Because it was their first, it wasn't the first time they watched the Royal Rumble. It was the first time we watched it live. Like, I've shown the Royal Rumbles before, but that was the first time we watched it live. That made it a bit more enjoyable for me. A bit more enjoyable. I enjoyed the Women's Rumble better than the male Rumble. There's some very disappointing things in there. There's a guy there named Kofi Kingston. For those of you who watch, you know what I'm going to say. It's like, I felt so bad for him because every year, this guy is known for getting thrown out of the ring and finding some way to get in without his feet touching the floor. And he messed up this year. Just messed up. And I saw that. I think everybody saw that, right? Everyone saw his feet hit the ground and then pull his feet up. And then I'm like, are they going to call it? Are they going to call it? Are they going to call it? And then I'm like, no, they can't. It's so obvious he touched the floor. And I felt so bad for him. And then it was just kind of bland. I'll be honest. It's just kind of bland, that Rumble. So, yeah. But at the end of the day, a fun time for me and the kids. It was a fun time. So, in terms of the actual watching enjoyment, I had a fun time watching it, for sure. Definitely not the best Rumble I've ever seen in my life. But, it is what it is. Looks like they're going for Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte. That's what they're looking at. And very predictable. Let's just say that. Very predictable. So, aloha, Lost Soldier. Aloha. There you go. I'm glad they kept it realistic with Kofi messing up. Part of me was like, okay, he messed up. But we all wanted to see what he was going to do. So I think I'm like, just let him do it. Part of me was like, part of me was like, don't show the replay. Don't show the replay. And then let people say the next day, Kofi touched the ground. But yeah, they kept it realistic and said that. So, well, it is what it is. Trailer Entertainment says comments on Brock winning. Expected. I think even going in, I think that was the logical way to do it. Yeah, I pretty much, I think a lot of people did too. I think a lot of people thought Brock was going to be the one to win the Rumble, even though he wasn't in the match at the beginning. I think a lot of people just thought that, because, it's very easy to see what they were doing, right? WrestleMania is going to be Brock versus Roman. And now, like the Ronda Rousey thing, that just came about like last week, right? So it's the obvious choice. Both winners were the obvious choice to win. So I'm not upset with the winners. It's just, the actual Rumble itself just wasn't as entertaining as it usually is. But great to see, like, for example, Ivory back. How great to see. There's this wrestler named Ivory. She's 60 years old. 60. She looked fantastic. For 60? Holy cow. I look 60 right now. Ivory looked better than me. Holy cow. She looked great. And then she came out in the Right to Censor music, which I thought is awesome. Great to see Lita, but we saw her on SmackDown. Great to see Melina there. There was a girl. Hey guys, quick question for you. For those of you who watched the Rumble, Melina's what's it called? Her elimination. Was that a botch? For those of you who don't know what the botch is a mistake. Was that a mistake? That looked like a botch to me. It looked like she fell by accident. Or, but at the same time, I don't know if it was a botch or not. Like, to be honest, she wasn't going to be in there long anyway. But it looked like a bot, like she actually just fell down. It looked like fell down. Yes, that's right. Bad Bunny was in there. I'm surprised they didn't advertise Bad Bunny in the Rumble. I really am. Because, Bad Bunny has such a large following that I thought, to get the numbers up, wouldn't you want to advertise? Like, it's always fun to have surprises. But wouldn't you want to advertise a guy like that to the mainstream who, maybe not know wrestling, but they know who Bad Bunny is? Wouldn't you want to? So that was an interesting choice to me, right? But anyways, guys, sorry to get off on the wrestling talk. I had to get that out. So let's get back to the drawing part here. But it was just a fun time with the family. At the end of the day, it was just a fun time with the family. So, by the way, about the, let's see here. Just go in order here. Mayoran. I pronounced your name right earlier. I didn't know. I forgot how. Do I know the game Marvel Collect? I actually don't. I have no idea what that is. So maybe you can enlighten me on that. Let's see here. Commando. Oh, Knuckle Sandwich says all the advertising space went to Johnny Knoxville. Yeah. Talking about guys who look like they're 60. Johnny Knoxville. Yes, Ivory aged better than Johnny Knoxville. Let's just say that. Let's see here. Commando Vic says, by the way, about the Iron Man video, how did you decide to color the whole thing? Yeah, I'll be honest, a couple reasons why. Number one, I wanted to try it. Now, I will admit, also number two, if I can be 100% honest, I wanted to save a few bucks too. Because to get Thomas to color, it's not cheap. Not cheap. Nor should it be. It's a lot of work, right? But at the same time, would I do it again? I don't know. I probably would get Thomas to color because it saves me so much time when he does color it. So it is fun to see. And to be honest, when you see the original art, it's different, right? Because it's from my own hand, right? It's not digital. It's this, this piece of art that's, fully colored. So it was fun and rewarding in that sense. But at the end of the day, with the amount of time that I spent on it, I probably won't do that again. For me, it's probably better just to get Thomas to color it, throw colors on it. Makes it a little bit easier on my end. So yeah. Let's see here. Not sure if it was a botch, but they tend to eliminate the returns right away. That's true. For the most part, all of the legacy entrants, they were pretty short. Let's see. Hello, Mahali. Bad Bunny, the ragtime singer rapper. Yes. Bad Bunny, the rapper. He was in there. Bad Bunny's a gigantic. Not only is Bad Bunny a gigantic wrestling fan, he trained hard to be in WrestleMania last year. So the dude has enough respect for wrestling, where he actually trained. He worked so hard so that he could pay tribute to wrestling. So I thought that was fantastic. That was great. Let's see here. Am I excited for Johnny Knoxville's movie? No. I was never into those movies, I'm never really into those movies. So, The Rock's a big dude, but Maui, according to Polynesian tradition, he is not. He's a teen in the stories. Really? Oh, this is Maui growing up then. Oh, I didn't draw that giant hook that he has. Maybe I'll put that on his back or something. How much time do I got, by the way, guys? 34. I only got like 20 minutes, guys. So I'll probably finish this off camera. But then again, I was talking a lot earlier. I wasn't. No focus. And to be honest, this is one of the more difficult. I might go back and maybe we'll work on this even more tomorrow. We'll see. During the show tomorrow. Makes it a little easier if I spread it out a little bit so I don't have to rush, Maui on roids. Well, have you seen Maui, man? Oop. I'm just turning the paper here. Usually I don't turn the paper that much. But adding a bit of rendering. Usually I don't draw characters smiling that often. But Maui's one of those characters who smiles a lot, Yeah, you know what? I probably will spread this out over a couple days. Probably draw more tomorrow. I want it to be good, I want it to be good. Drawing looks great. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Lost Soldier. There you go. Is there going to be a new Moana movie? Maybe. Though I think their concentration is more live action. And it seems like all the animated movies are all going to Disney Plus, right? I feel so bad for Pixar. Pixar, because nobody, like all their movies seem to be headed to all the Pixar movies all seem to be headed to Disney Plus, and that was definitely not their intention when they made these movies, right? They wanted big theatrical. Well, it is what it is, but yeah, we'll see if I finish this off camera or not, because I do have a gigantic drawing to do today, guys. I might. Let's think. If okay, don't hold me to this, okay? But maybe I will stream a little bit later today. Maybe. Again, hit the bell, guys. Hit the bell. I won't make a guarantee that I will. But after I talk to the guys here and what they have to do today, If I feel I can, why not? Why not? And just to get you guys excited, I am doing a Moon Knight piece right now. I'm going to be working on a Moon Knight piece today. A little bit later on. So if things work out with the guys, or if they're good to go and they don't need my help, why not? Why not? Why not do it live? Now I won't be able to talk the way I am right now because again we're in the office, guys. So, and if I'm going to be 100% honest, you guys distract them as well. You're a distraction, you guys. You guys are a distraction to them. They like So it'd be one of those things where it'd be silent for a lot of it, but I will take some time now and then for a few minutes to go ahead and talk to you guys, okay? But just to let you know, if you guys want to see what I'm working on, get you excited for that this piece, because again, we also need to talk shop when I'm here, when my workers are here. We need to talk about what they're working on, right? So, or if they need my help, I need to be here. So that's the only issue. That's pretty good. I like that knuckle sandwich. Would you do a Sailor Moon Knight piece? That made me laugh. Oh, knuckle sandwich. That's pretty good. Oh man, I'm liking that. Knuckle sandwich. Thumbs up to you, sir. Sailor Moon Knight piece. I gotta message that to Mark. Let me see here. I gotta write that down just because of you, knuckle sandwich. Where's Mark? Mark. Joe. Here, I'll put in the group chat. Not bad. Not bad there, knuckle sandwich. Let's see here. Will Moon Knight be super detailed? Absolutely. Yes. It's a time challenge, my friends. Time challenge. So again, like Mario guys, if you know anyone who would benefit from watching the show part where I answer the questions, by all means, if you could share this podcast with them or anyone who you think is an aspiring artist, because that's why I started all these channels to begin with, to help you. At the end of the day, that's what I want to do. I want to help you guys. Okay, so again, be patient with us with all the React stuff. I know we haven't. I said we were going to do that in January, but well, I'll be honest. We're trying to revamp everything right now, and it's taking a lot longer than I expected it to. So yeah. So give me 1 second here, guys. I'm just going to refresh the chat here. Okay, 1 second here. Oh, that's great to hear. I love hearing that, Lost Soldier. Lost Soldier says, "Awesome, James. Looking forward to it with my kids. The little one loves to draw with me too. You'll love it." That's fantastic. I love to hear that. Love to hear that. What time is it now? I think I'm only gonna get Maui done today. It's already 45, but I still need to do the bring this down like this. Can you see? I still need to do the tattoos. I'm trying to get the shading done first so that well, even the shading, I don't even think I should do the shading because the tattoos will cover the shading. Right, but let me finish this part here first. Let me do Mr. There you go. Will I draw the best of Boba Fett season scenes of season 1? Probably not. I wouldn't hold my breath for that. The series has to get really good for me to do that. Really, really good. We'll see. I think, like, for example, I should have drew, that Luke scene. I should have drew that Luke scene. I never did. Maybe I should have. So if there's a scene like that at the finale, maybe I'll draw that. I probably wouldn't do a full tribute like I've done in the past. Because I'll be honest, I'm not really interested. As of right now, I'm not very, very interested in doing it. Are we seeing more Spidey stuff? Because even a month and a half later, his hype is still growing strong. Not as much dedicated stuff, though. Maybe I should. I'll tell you, Spider-Man helped me a lot. I had a really good month. As a lot of people covering Spider-Man stuff, we all had a fantastic month of December. Things have slowed down significantly. But again, that video coming out this Friday, we're going to explore the James Cameron Spider-Man movie. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that as well. It's something that's quite different than what I usually do on this channel. So hopefully you guys, I'm really hoping you guys will enjoy it. And it's okay if you don't either. If you don't, I would love to hear from you too. I would love to hear why you did enjoy it, or what we could do to make this type of video more enjoyable for you guys. Okay, so I'll be really interested to hearing your feedback. It's actually quite essential that if you guys would like to comment, it would mean a lot to me. Or I would love to hear why it wouldn't work for you and everything. Right. Let's see here. Best scene has been Mando so far. He's more Fett than Fett so far. That's good, Lost Soldier. Well, let's be honest. Wasn't the Mandalorian series? Didn't we all think it was a Boba Fett series at the beginning? Didn't we all think it was like more of like a... That's what I thought. When I first saw what the Mandalorian series looked like, I thought, okay, is this like a Boba Fett series? That's what I thought. He looks so weird. The Rock looks weird. Or Maui, I meant. Maui looks weird. Let's see here. Hi, Jeffries. How you doing, my friend? What's my favorite James Cameron movie? He's a legend, man. Titanic was great. I liked Avatar, man. I'll say it. I'm excited for Avatar. I'm excited for what it will look like. Terminator 2. Like, to be honest, though, he hasn't had that much movies out, right? I'm trying to think what else he had there. What other movies has he done? That's the only three I can think of at the top of my head. I know there's more. So, Terminator 2. Help me out here, guys. What else did he do? Titanic, Avatar. That's the only two. Because he only makes like a movie every decade, and then it makes the most money ever. And because every movie he makes the most money ever, and then he wins all the awards. That's usually what happens of the James Cameron movie. Aliens and True Lies. Yes. Aliens. Forgot about the Aliens. Thank you, my friend. True Lies, also a fantastic movie. What's yours? And that's pretty much it, right? Aliens and True Lies, and that's it. That's it. Oh, The Abyss? Did he do The Abyss as well? Okay. I will take your word for that. But I'm telling you, man, you know when I say that it would have been an R-rated Spider-Man movie, his Spider-Man, that's not clickbait, man. That's true. That's true. Like when I was reading this treatment, I was like, holy cow. There's some stuff in here that's like, ugh. Okay. Now, you could see some ideas that were later used in other movies, but there were some things in there I was like, wow. I don't think you could do that today. I don't know. Let's see. Lost Soldiers thing says, I think the Filoni Favreau verse is building up to something bigger. Boba Fett is good, but not great. But I think it's a stepping stone for something really good. I hope. Well, I think so. Well, it's Filoni we're talking about here. It's Clone Wars, or Clone Wars, Rebels, Filoni. They're all going to be interconnected somehow. That's what I think. And that could be a good thing and a bad thing, Like it's Star Wars, it doesn't need to be interconnected. But, for the fans, it's more fun when it is. To do callbacks and all that stuff. It feels, what it feels like? It feels like a reward. Whenever you see callbacks, when you see things connected, it feels like a reward to you that you invested all that time and energy. Like when you watch a Marvel movie, right? When you watch a Marvel movie and you get the reference because you watch that obscure thing from Thor: The Dark World where this thing happens and and nobody else knows it but you feel like you're rewarded for spending all that time watching all those extra shows, right? That's what it feels like. It's a reward. Let's see here. Lost Soldier said, looking forward to see how Moana comes out too. Are you going to draw the rooster? Yes. Yes, I will be drawing the rooster. Again, guys, I might finish this tomorrow. Like this took a little bit longer than I thought, and I think it mainly a couple of reasons. Number one, I was talking a little too much. Talking way too much. Or way more than usual. And again, there was a reason for that. But yeah. Let's see this recording here. Hi, The Voices. How are you, my friend? If Tarantino were to... Cara Bear Comics says, if Tarantino were to direct a Marvel movie, what character do you think would work best for him? Ooh, I don't know. I'm actually not sure. The Nick Fury series. That's what... The Nick Fury series. There you go. Nick Fury. That would actually work, right? Don't you think? Don't you think? That would work, right? If Quentin Tarantino came and then if Quentin Tarantino came in and did a Marvel series.
Anyway, guys. Okay, we're coming up to it, so I might as well end here. All right, guys. So thank you guys for joining in. You were the best, and let me know what you think of the new format. Again, one of the reasons I'm doing this is because just first of all to make it a little bit more interesting for you guys when you watch. Okay, so that I can answer your questions and all of that. Right. So, again, before we end off, again, for those of you who came in later, we did lose one of our community members. Once again, my heart goes out to the family of JJ. You guys know him as the 7th Ranger. JJ passed away a couple days ago. And a lot of you guys communicated with him here. And it was a great kid, full of passion. And he decided to spend his remaining days watching us and being with us here. So yeah, that's my heart goes out to his family. Wonderful people, and sometimes you can't imagine the pain they're going through. I totally understand the pain they're going through right now. So my heart goes out to them right now, and thoughts. So, okay, guys, take care of yourselves. Wherever you are in the world, remember, guys, life's too short. Life's too short for stuff like this. All we could do, as long as we're here, is to live the best life we can. So don't waste it thinking of online fights. Getting caught up in any of that stuff, right? Let's concentrate on building the life we can, best life we can for ourselves. All right? All right, guys. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye.